Hello, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Welcome to today's live session of GenoPalate Scientific Wellness Program through our live webinars. I'm so happy to see all of you joining us live today. I hope you are enjoying your summertime, as I am. Feel free to say hi in the chat box. We always like to have a good conversation. If you have any issues, do let us know in the chat box as well. So my name is Dr. Sherry Jiang, and for those of you who have been with us frequently attending our webinars, welcome back. For new friends and new members or first time joining us live, and welcome. We have a very good program today, so let's dive in. A little bit about myself. Let me enlarge the views so you can see the information more clearly. Okay, let me know if that works or not. So as I said, I'm the founder and chief science officer at GenoPalate. I spent over a decade working in academia, creating new knowledge about genomic health. My specialty was obesity metabolic syndrome using genomics technologies. And then my last more recent decade of nearly decade of work and counting is founding and building, growing this GenoPalate platform, where we today is a leading US nutrigenomics health tech platform, providing a comprehensive suite of solutions for personalized nutrition. As you probably see and hear, food as medicine movement is really making good traction nowadays. We're definitely at the frontier of this movement. We are creating, we have created this new community since last November. Now we're really a growing and thriving community where we are encouraged to be open-minded to listen and learn. You are more than generous to share your experiences in health and health journey. And be adventurous to try new ways so that you and us will benefit from what we know. And today, and probably until the end of my life, I am devoting my intellect to really solving the problem as we see on in this picture on the screen, which is our society has been very successful in lengthening people's lifespan, right? It used to be half of what the average lifespan today for anywhere on planet Earth, from 47 average lifespan extended to almost 80, which is fantastic thanks to modern medicine and other technologies and solutions for health. The problem with modern new problems, sedentary lifestyle, on the screen all the time, there is a blurred difference between the day and night, and abundance of food and so on. Our health span, which is disease-free years of your life, is only 80% of your total lifespan. In other words, saying that we all on average live 20% of our whole life with medicine and disease, and that compromised our quality of life. That's not acceptable, especially when I know through dietary lifestyle, environmental changes, we could change this dramatically. And then this 20% of or 63 years of how average health span data is very conservative. we know we have teenagers suffering from chronic mental illness, which can be improved greatly, and all the way to 40-some years, 50-some years, old people already experiencing chronic and conditions that will probably follow their life forever. But all of these can be improved through what we're doing. So that's really my life devotion. And it's also one of the reasons we started this year-long quest to learn and do and practice longevity nutrition, increasing our life's health span. So today's topic is super interesting and to the core of our interests and competence at GenoPalate is way of nutrition. What do we eat? How do we eat? When to eat? And so on. It's gonna increase our health span. So I want to pop a question to everybody. Are you one of those people eat to live, or you are one of those people live to eat? Right? That's two very interesting perspectives towards eating and living. And the foodie identity in me will say, oh, I live to eat, right? Eat good food, eat delicious food, eat socially and all that. But the health guru in me also say, wow, we need to eat to live. So I think bottom line is everybody is, you can choose your stance, but a lot of people probably have a little bit of both. But I think at the core, we need to understand why do we eat and how does our biology, physiology work when we do that? And how do we not be controlled by that, but control our habits so that we can really enjoy food and while living a longer life. So the reasons I kind of group reasons for eating, as I listed here, you probably resonate. First of all, we have instinct. We're hungry, we're thirsty, or we need to eat food and drink water. Right? Secondly, we need to function. I want to run, but without sugar or carb in my body for the time being, I will not be running very effectively. And we need to function well, meaning those behind the scene we cannot sense or feel, but we know we need vitamin A, C, K, and E, and so on for different functions, thanks to science and knowledge. And a lot of us, including me, we eat to be social. We are social animals. Without a tribe, we cannot survive. We are not going to be happy. And food is such a communal thing, right? It's such a bonding agent. We need to do that more than less. So, but because of that, there's a social pressure. When someone is drinking a glass of martini, for example, and I'm being influenced by that, right? And then it's very, very natural. And just a pure pleasure. People, I call myself foodie, and I just enjoy food. Food is just one of the most wonderful things that we have in life, and I don't want to give it up. The last one is I hope people try not to do that too often, but naturally we use the pleasure that created by eating to counteract the bad emotions, stress eating, for example, right? But those could add to the chronic conditions you already have. But today, I don't want to talk about any of those reasons or the whys. I want to talk about a new way of eating, a new perspective towards your eating, which is eat for your health span, which is intuitive, but at the same time, I don't think we think this way enough. So I want to have a discussion with you with evidence, with solutions, with delicious recipes of food and so on, to help you understand why this health span eating is important and what it is about, so that we can design how, if you're interested to live for a long health span life with nutrition and else as a strategy, and we want to act on that. But I'm a simple person. I learn a lot, I research a lot, but in order to have a sustainable lifestyle, I need something simple. So I want to provide you simple, memorable things that you can do right after the webinar. Okay. All right, let's go. So I grouped everything I know to date. I'm still learning. I'm a student of this, but into three key factors. I hope it makes sense to you and become a useful protocol for you. Number one is circadian clock. I don't know how many of you have attended our, I believe, the third webinars earlier this year about circadian clock. I have so many comments from all of you in the community. So I know you're very engaged with that topic. So let's go through some of the learnings that will bring new perspectives in the light of health span eating. So this is a clock of me, you, any of us, right? As a human, we get up from the left side of 6 o'clock. This is what happened in our body. 6 o'clock, cortisol released because we are getting up, is getting ready to fight life. And then during the morning time, your blood pressure increases to drive our performance. You'll be very alert. Your cognitive clarity should be at the peak. Early in the afternoon, if you perform any exercise or sports, you'll notice your coordination is the best of your day, and then you react very quickly and accurately. And then later towards as the sun setting, your temperature reach your highest, and then started to your blood pressure actually reach the highest point after 6 o'clock in the evening. And then melatonin started to be secreted naturally to drive you to be sleepy as you go into bedtime, and your body temperature lower to compensate and to support your sound sleep, and then the cycle restarts again. And as a human being and biological entity, for hundreds of millions of years, we have synced with the sun up and sun down, right? So we talk about this in the previous one where we deep dive this topic. You can go back to our archive to review that, I believe. That our eyes and sensing the sunlight will start to signal our whole body. We have different clocks in every single organs. We also have a central master clock in the whole body to be the master clock, literally, to time everything. Right, so this is why you need to get up to the sunlight, walk in the light to sync that better, the best. And then you get all these cues. Your organs started to have different circadian reactions based on the timing. The other one that we developed over millions of years is food. So timing of the 3 meals, 4 meals, and usually with the sun up, sun down has been embedded in our circadian clock system. So I'll go through this quickly. Usually you get up, you have breakfast, you start to burn the carbs and store the fat, and then to survive, right? And you have 3 meals. And then remember the cycle we just showed, when you get melatonin kicks in, you go into bed, you start to burn fat. So the burning fat mechanism kicks in and going up, and then you're storing fat coming down. This is how we balance it all. So in the upper part of the screen, you see in the ideal or close to ideal situation, we eat in a restricted time window. Doesn't matter what you eat, how much you eat, just the time. Just focus on time for for a moment with me. If you eat within a 10 hours window, for example, let's say you start eating at noon and you stop eating at 10 p.m., your window is 10 hours, and then you have enough time. So 24 minus 10 is 14 hours. You have 14 hours longer than eating window to recover, to digest, to recover from all these, we call it acute inflammation, right? In a way, everything is attacked to our system, even though they're nutrients. A lot of them are over nutrition. So we need to, the inflammation needs to be recovered. Now, in the lower panel, which is closer to the reality for lots of people, is we eating around the clock, really. 15 hours is probably conservative, but it's an average situation where we eat almost from, let's say, 6 o'clock to 10 p.m., right? And then we have only 9 hours to recover. Now it's flipped the opportunity window. So because of that, over time, there's extensive studies, extensive evidence showing when we eat around the clock, more so, which is shown on the left, our sleep, quality of life decline, obesity, metabolic issues, liver diseases, all sorts of dietary related, lifestyle related health issues will go up and it become chronic. Because once you become a slave, so to speak, of that bad habits, it just naturally just keep going, right? And all this pleasure triggered by the food and then the, sedentary lifestyle, and humans are naturally prone to be not doing things and seeking pleasure. That's natural. That's our nature. So because of that, it accumulates and becomes worse and worse. On the other hand, if we can really restrict, be disciplined about just timing, there's a beauty of it. You don't have to eat necessarily less. You don't have to be calorie counting and even choosing. I want you to choose, but even you don't choose, you just focus on the time eating window, you're actually gonna be very much happier and healthier. So what do we take away from this one piece of knowledge? We suggest you to create the contrast between daytime and night. So darkness, create enough darkness to your body, to your eyes, to your whole body. For example, no bright light, no calories, 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Just chill and do something else, other activities to prepare, to support your melatonin, your physiology, to go to a sound rest, right? And then let's say you can sleep 8 hours, which is a very good optimal range and manageable by a lot of lifestyles. Do not eat for at least 1 hour after waking up. I'm not suggesting this to influence you, but just as a one reference, as I grow older, I'm a breakfast person when I growing up. But now as I go into 30s, 40s, and so on, I developed a new system. This is fairly new for me. It's very effective. I do not eat anything until noon. It's just easier for me to remember. It's easier for me to act, to live with it. I suggest you have your own framework. Maybe it's 10 a.m., maybe it's noon, maybe even later. And then we'll get into another topic related to timing as well. No matter where you choose, do not eat at least an hour after waking up, and then count about 10 hours as your TRE, so restricted eating pattern, time frame, and then framework, and then and eat freely if that's the strategy you chose. All right. Second key factor is fasting. I am sure you have heard, done, and seen other people say good thing about fasting, or suffering from doing too much or doing erroneously. So let's face it with everything we know today and see why on Earth that fasting has been working for lots of people, and what are the cautions we should take, and how can we apply that to you to benefit you for especially longevity. So you probably have heard or will be hearing more and more about this blue zone lifestyle, right? These are the villages that are still living among us on planet Earth, where they have over concentration or much higher average lifespan. We're talking about lifespan, but usually that means longer health span. These are centenarian villages, right? One is in Japan, one is in a lot of in Asia, one here in California. One very small community has a lot of centenarians, meaning people live over 100 years old. And lots of their cultures, as we study more and more of those blue zone lifestyles, people blue zone, they're scientists, and they call them blue zone scientists. Me probably is going there too. Found that they all have this periodic fasting habits that is embedded in their ritual. So that's one piece of information. In the lab, we know the most, by far, effective way to elongate any biological entity's lifespan is caloric restriction. So you cut, for example, from yeast, which you use to make your bread, all the way to rhesus monkeys. If you reduce their calories, total calories, now they can eat pretty much anything, just total calorie is restricted from 70% for the yeast or 30% reduction for the rhesus monkey. They all live longer, dramatically longer, double the lifespan for the yeast. In that case is Drosophila, which is a fly we use in the lab to study genomics and so on, and monkeys. You can see the red line indicates how long the monkeys live on the restricted caloric restriction diets versus the blue is not. So humans, what about humans? It's harder to study humans, right? We cannot control everything about humans to the degree that we can draw a lot of conclusive conclusions. But there's a lot of directional, strong points of evidence showing fasting or translated to time. Remember, this is not just caloric restriction, it's also timing too. And we'll get into that. Together, intermittent fasting or restricted, no calorie, low calorie lifestyle can trigger something called autophagy. This is one piece of information I really truly want you to, if you didn't know before, know now. And it's very real. It's happening all the time. It can benefit if you apply that as a tool, learn it, apply that as a tool. I think you're going to benefit from it for the rest of your life. And also, please introduce that to your family. And you'll see why. So autophagy, what is autophagy? So auto means self, phagy means eating. So literally autophagy means self-eating. So intuitively, when humans and biological entities deal with starvation much, much better than obesity and abundance food. So our system is developed such a mechanism to recycle all the nutrients and building blocks when we don't need them. Or when we need them, we started to recycle them into building our new cells and to function, to survive, if that makes sense. So this red cellular organism or organelle, it's inside of a cell, is called a lysosome. Lysosome is a body of digestive protein in a big membrane, kind of a pocket, where if you trigger a process where saying, okay, these are garbage of the cells, take them, recycle them. So lysosomes will do that in your cells. And that happens all the time, especially when you're hungry. Because when you're hungry, we're talking about really starved of nutrients. There's no sugar. We're starting to use long storage of your fat, which is in the liver, which is a glycogen. But eventually will, when we talk about weight loss, that's really utilizing that mechanism. You start to pull the fat cells. Eventually they will we will eat up our own muscles too, because we need a protein, we need fat, we need membranes. So it's a really evolutionarily a survival mechanism, right? If you kind of memorize that way, it makes a lot of sense. So because of that knowledge and also a lot of practice, and obviously we have thousands of years of ritual in those blue zone lifestyles and tribes, and so we're practicing this fasting for different reasons. Now we're using that knowledge or as a tool to apply to our healthy living. And then we started to have all these different, almost like a fatty diets, right? Fats, and we have different ways of doing that. And I think nothing is wrong because all different people needs their different sustainable fasting schedule, if you may. And we're all kind of fasting anyway, right? Breakfast, the word is breaking your fasting. So we're all fasting when we're sleeping. And then we have developed multiple different ways to practice this for health or, for losing weight or longevity, whatnot. There's 16-8. So 16 hours of not eating, 8 hours of eating. We talk about 10 hours window, which is before that is more lenient, more easier for people to first come into this. There's a 5-2 diet, which is a little bit more harder than 68 even, which is 5 days of eating freely, 2 days no, very, very low or no calorie. And then there's a eat, stop, eat. I won't get into that. We can, another time where you can search for it, but there's alternate day fasting, which I have a slide for you, and a warrior diet. So, so let me show you alternate day just to give you an example. It's literally alternate day, eat, not eat. So Monday you eat pretty freely, and Tuesday is no calories at all. So water fasting, you can take tea, you can take calories, maybe bone broth and whatnot. Where some people, they practice up to 500 calories, which is 2 energy bars, as you know, right? And then you just alternate this and then do it over and over again. Some people do that for extended time and live with it. The other one is a more common, is 18-6. I should say more common. 18-6 is eating for 6 hours window. So in this case, if you are doing that, this person will not start eating until 2 p.m. and then stop eating at 8. But just the key is to sustain that for a long time. Now, how do we really accelerate or induce autophagy? Studies have shown that you actually start to have autophagy after 18, 20 some hours of fasting. So the 16 and 18 fasting, and then you eat it again and you repeat that cycle, you will be stimulating autophagy already in your body, but not as high as if you can fast between up to 2 days. No calories or very small amount of calories for 2 cycles of day and night. I have done something like that. It is very, very unsustainable for me. So I don't recommend it unless you have done the other levels of fasting and really benefit, you're competent of doing that. And you have no health conditions. So if you want to push yourself to try that, that's wonderful. But talk to a registered dietitian, which we provide, or your physicians if you really, really want to do that. So I want to caution you. So another point I want to make is earlier we also showed this, the advancements in hallmarks of aging at the molecular level, cellular level. And we understand now that mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of every single cell that is functioning in your body, is one of the 12 hallmarks of aging. When the biogenesis of the mitochondria decline and the oxidation levels goes up, it becomes dysfunctional. Now, autophagy can also be triggered around the mitochondria function, can help that renew your cells to renew that. And every decade of life, this is applied to anyone in humans, our mitochondrial function, both quantity and quality. We have a whole deep dive sessions about this if you remember or want to go back. Every decade, our mitochondrial function will decline by 8%, whether by the reducing your muscles because of aging, and then or the aging triggered the functional decline. So what do? It's not the end of the world as we age. We know we can renew our mitochondrial health by doing caloric restriction, fasting, as we talk about, to induce different levels of, these are what we're talking about, what we're showing here is several key master molecular pathways triggered by different genes and proteins on top of the arrows that triggered by caloric restriction will eventually lead to longevity through mitochondrial renewal. I won't quiz you with this, memorizing all of these, but I do want to show you, you can always come back to this note when we share the deck, but there's memorable points of, for example, SIRT1 gene or the mTOR, which is in the middle pathways, that can be practiced, stimulated by certain food, which I will show you in a bit. Am I going too fast, too much? I have a lot of good stuff to show. So let me know if you want me to slow down a little bit. Third factor is, okay, we know how we have some strategic notes for timing, for the framework of fasting, calorie, and wise. What do we do? What do we eat or not eat, drink or not drink, right? So the third key factor for longevity eating or health span eating, I recommend us to focus on two things. One is hero foods, meaning what are the key ingredients that you cannot eat enough of, will give you the boosted benefits of those longevity factors or mechanisms, stimulate autophagy and so on and so forth. And that's number one, hero foods, hero ingredients. And the second one is put that into a context, please. Things don't matter when you take that out of context. That's my belief in life. Same thing here. You can eat all day long the better food or within a certain time window, but as you age, if you don't have a way to build your muscle or train your muscle, it's not going to give you the return of your investment. Same thing, if you just train without the right timing, the right quality and quantity of nutrition and hydration, forget about it, right? You're going to be wasting all your effort. You will see some return, but I think if you combine those two in an integrated approach, you're going to benefit the most. So this is my study and my opinion based on the evidence I have discussed with you or the things I know I haven't time to discuss with you. So take it as I qualify it. My principles, which I practice every day to introduce to you for healthspan eating, is three things. One, be strategic. Really apply your powerful circadian clock. Now we understand so much better the caloric restriction, the fasting, the timing. It not only benefits your body composition, your performance, and also your sleep and social. So be strategic, focus on bigger things. Second one, keep it simple and sustainable. And this is with my personal belief in there and our practice. I can remember 200 different things because there are 200 different things I can care about, foods and so on. I know a lot, but what I can really do is maybe 20, maybe 2, right? Time changes, time can be challenging. So I share this perspective with you. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you can do better than I do. I hope you are. So choose a few longevity hero foods that stimulate autophagy. So understand why are you eating blueberries? Why are you eating beets? They stimulate of autophagy, heal or build your bone joint, muscle. We talk about in the previous 2 seminars, and boost your mitochondria renewal. Right? Those are the reasons that I focus on right now. Be holistic. Develop an integrated routine. Incorporates both nutrition, exercise habits that not only build, but keep your strength and health span for better. Okay, we'll get to the delicious part. What are the my recommended hero foods based on evidence that I see and my personal practice for autophagy stimulation? Number 1, coffee. Doesn't matter it's caffeinated or decaf. The polyphenol in coffee is actually has shown to stimulate autophagy and fight cancer cells in some circumstances. So drink your coffee. Decaf also helps. Green tea. You probably know the active. There's about 50 to 80% of the ingredients for green tea, good green tea, clean green tea, is something called as EGCG or catechin. It's a polyphenol. It's a phytochemical polyphenol. It's antioxidant, very, very potent. And green tea I've seen most evidence that it can help induce autophagy in your body, fight certain cancer cells. What happened in autophagy is, this is something I forgot to mention, it's actually very interesting survival mechanism, I guess, that humans develop, where when you have a cancer cells, which is overgrowth, right? Well, you don't want that. And you have normal cells. When you starve the system, triggered autophagy to high degree, what happened is we have a shielding or protection mechanism will trigger as well on top of all these. It will literally mark what is the good cells, what is the overgrowth cancerous cells. And then so that when we target cancer with medication, chemotherapy, it will be more potent and effective. So autophagy is a very, very potent tool for cancer treatment. Mushroom, your lion's mane. When I'm talking about medicinal, I'm not talking about just the regular white or bala mushrooms and so on. They are very helpful. They have their umami. They have a fiber and polyphenol itself. But the more medicinal ones are shiitake, reishi, shaga, and lion's mane, right, which is shown here. So do look for those. And there's a lot of tea products. There's a lot of powder products. People make them into even their supplements, obviously, collagen addition supplements and whatnot. You can also buy, they're very expensive, but it's worth it. I eat them. You can make soup out of it, and you can make a smoothie and as well. They also fight cancer by stimulating autophagy in the body. Brassica, excuse me. What is a brassica? You probably know. These are Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, cauliflowers. They actually, I don't know if you knew, they're actually from the same plant originally and then cultivated into all these different vegetables we eat and familiar with. All of these are brassica. And I'm going to introduce one green, is also part of this as well, this family. Brassica has this very interesting antioxidant called sulforaphane. I have to write this down because it's new to me. Sulforaphane. It's one of the polyphenols that will induce autophagy and fight cancer. If you like curry like I do, there's the good news. You have another reason to eat more of it. So curcumin, which is the active ingredient of turmeric, the bright color you see in curry, chicken, soup, and so on, is because of curcumin. It's a very potent agent to activate AMPK pathway, we just showed, and also induce autophagy. Now, there's a dynamic duo. If you cook with the curcumin, make sure you also add lots of good black pepper. Black pepper has this things called pepperin. It's also another polyphenol antioxidant. What it does is it's actually boosts the bioavailability when you eat this of curcumin, when you eat these two together. So cook these two spice duo together. I love ginger. I cook with it. I brew tea with it. So next time, think about get some really good fresh ginger from your groceries, chop them up, just put 1 or 2 chunks into your tea, and you're gonna probably do your healthspan a favor. Ginger is, sorry, I lost my screen for a minute. It actually inhibit mTOR. If you remember, I point your attention to the 3 pathways leading to from the caloric restriction all the way to longevity through mitochondrial health. I promise I'm not quizzing you, but I'm a little bit quizzing your memory. That one is where the ginger a molecule called shoshao or shogao, or it's an odd name. It inhibits mTOR, reactivate your mitochondria respiration. So also autophagy induction. All right, one more for autophagy, I believe, in my slides. Look for foods of colors. I think you probably heard this from your nutritionist, your medical doctor friends, or us. Why we look for the bright colors? What is the bright colors of your fruits and vegetables? Beets and red skin, red grapes, pomegranate, and so on. It's because the something called flavonoids, right? The flavonoids are also part of the thousands of polyphenols we have isolated. They actually are the reason of the bright color. So look for, it's a very easy thing to do, is look for those vegetables and fruits that with the bright colors and mix all of them and eat them. A lot of times all these things are in the skins. For example, that's why resveratrol, red wine, is very good for longevity food or drink. For the French dogma, French, they eat lots of foods, they smoke even, but they have this red wine dogma habits. And people now know because the in the skin is the high level of resveratrol. So it's the same, we're talking about the same mechanism. Because of bone, I want to cover quickly my recommended hero foods for bones, joints, and muscles, and hydration. And that'll be my plan today for you. So this is my cooking. I've been eating lots of this keto green. I want you to remember, you probably have eaten that, but there's a much bigger reason if you want to eat for your bones. Arugula is the best thing to keep on your plate. This is mine with apple, with some Parmesan, with a little bit of olive oil. The beauty about this arugula green is it's a spicy, peppery taste itself. So I don't even need to put a lot of other seasoning to my cooking. I just, itself, it just give me this wonderful palate profile. Not everybody love it, but if you haven't tried raw ones, I highly recommend you look for those. Trader Joe's have very good selections. I switch between wild baby arugula, which is a little bit tender, and organic. Somehow they can't have all of them checked, so I have to switch it back and forth. Nutrition-wise, it's one of the greens has the highest vitamin K. It has also calcium, but it has a very, very high vitamin K, as I shown here. 90%, if you eat 100 grams, which is 2 cups, which is perfect for a salad, you will get almost all you need for your daily nutrition from a very good source, vitamin K. What is vitamin K doing? It helps to regenerate your new bone tissue. It helps the protein to do the job. Without it, it cannot. The second hero food is sardines. I know people have different feelings about sardines. Hopefully you do eat fish. In sardines, it's look for I show you the ones I eat frequently. It's wild caught, it's unsalted. I don't like my sardines to be very salty, and then they always are more saltier than I want them to be in the oil in a lot of other products. But when I found this product at Trader Joe's, it's heaven. It's not salty at all. I'm very sensitive to salt, and I don't want to control my sodium like a hog. So if I feel it's okay, it should be okay for all of you. Try it, give a try. The reason I highly recommended it is it's the most natural source for protein for bone, the joints in, because bones is bone in, and it is so soft. You can literally eat the whole thing with the meat. So it has the complete nutrition for your bone health. Highly recommend it. For joints, there's a lot of things that can help to build your joint. We'll get to collagen part in a little bit, but I focus on over time, I think when we're aging, we lose a lot of the lubrication, the synovial fluid. If you remember last presentation, we talked about that. So I was looking for food, always looking for food that stimulate the production of the synovial fluid while building, maintaining my joint. And I train more and more so, and run more now. I really need to keep my knees and everything healthy. So these are the list of foods that provide anti-inflammatory through antioxidation and other mechanisms to help your joint be healthy and recover from any of your workout or accidents. Collagen. Without collagen, we cannot build our skin, nails, cartilage, and bone itself, and so on. So I kind of apply both of collagen supplements. I look for the certain types. If I want to eat for my skin, I look for type 1 collagen. If I'm looking for bone itself, it's 2 and 3. But there's actually a broad, or they call it full spectrum collagen supplements products out there. There's a lot of them, so be careful choosing them. If you need advice, call our registered dietitian. We're happy to advise you on those. And bone broth, right? If you cook your own, great. I tried, but it's not very sustainable because it takes so long. I just buy good, grass-fed bone broth from the stores now. Muscles. Muscles are built from amino acids, so proteins, right? That's why there's a lot of protein powder out there. GenoPalate recently have our best ones and highly recommend it because all this knowledge are fueling or are channeling through our development of our products, really. But, you have the whole world to choose from. But understanding we have 20 amino acids of making all sorts of proteins in our body. We can only make 11 ourselves. We have to eat 9 from our foods. Those are called essential amino acids. Out of the 9 essential, there are 3 called branched chain amino acids. Those are the specific 3 amino acids that build your muscle. So what are they? Valine, leucine, isoleucine. You don't have to know, but you need to know the product you're applying to building muscle, focus on providing those in good source and bioactive format, which GenoPalate does. So one of the last 2 points, I do have a announcement to make, as I promised in my invitation. That a lot of people ask me and our scientist team or a practitioner's team. So we work out. How do we eat in the context of a workout, right? We talk about, I believe, integrate this two is the holy grail for your success in wellness. And I work out a lot daily. So there's some tips I showed here. I'm showing here. Let me move my screen so you can see everything. Let me jump to the. Okay, I hope it's not blocking the words now. For pre-workout, now the longer, farther away from starting point of your workout, the more complex meal you can enjoy. So for example, if you have 3 hours, 4 hours before your workout time, you can eat a whole entree, whole meal with protein, carb, fat, some drink, hopefully no alcohol before a workout. But as you approach your workout time, the recommendation and also personal experiences, you need to cut your meal sizes. Also be careful about what to eat to very, very simple, to more simple foods. As you close to your workout time, and let's say you only have 1 hour, but you're hungry and you need to provide the glucose and the energy through your muscle and do the homework, do the performance, do the workout so you can train. We suggest you do simpler carb with a little protein to do if that's your time. If you can fast, like I often try now, and I recommend it personally because when I have foods in my stomach, no matter how close I have to my workout time, I don't feel I can perform the best. But that's just me. But I have another twist to that to give me the energy. I'll get to that in a minute. The benefit or bonus you're gonna get naturally of fasting while working out is you're gonna hit your fat storage quick. That's the only way you can pull the energy from. You're gonna benefit from the fat mass reduction or weight loss, if you may, and autophagy stimulation. So I recommend that you do that when you not doing very intense, high intensity workout, because we don't want you to pass out. Post workout, during a post, I highly recommend you hydrate with some levels of electrolytes. There's a natural way to do that. I'll show you. And protein with BCAA. Remember those 3 amino acids that help you build a muscle. Have the full protein, complete protein, but definitely make sure they're rich with BCAAs or the products with them. Enjoy complex carb, healthy fats for your muscle, joint, bone recovery, and again, as we talk about the reasons. And please watch for overcompensating. This is my mental problem is I work so hard, even fasting when I do workout. After that, I'm like, oh, I can feast. I can do whatever I want. That mentality is there. So be careful and watch for that, and knowing that's just your natural reaction to the work you did. So it's my pleasure, because I got this question from some of you, and it's a wonderful question, is what about drink? What about hydration? And I think there's a lot of products out there, but I don't think hydration science is prevalent enough that we're all educated and practicing the right way. So I'm big on definitely water. If you have no other options, go for water. Lots of even my trainers, I often ask them, what do you hydrate with when you do different intensity work? Often than not, they just say water. And then none of them use Gatorade or those energy drink unless they are competing in some contest. So I appreciate that. So water, clean water, go to. If you can go a little bit, or if you want to have more nutrients in there, have a little bit of energy. So I listed coconut water, which is I use so often. And as a matter of fact, I have that next to me talking to you. Go for 100% just a coconut water, right? There's a lot of, Vita Coco is great. There's a lot of other, there are competition coming up. 1 Kento container, which is enough for my workout, give you low calorie, but enough calorie to sustain me. You're gonna benefit from all the electrolytes for the taste, and it will just hydrate your body much better than just pure water. And there's a lot of vitamin C, phosphorus and magnesium and, potassium, calcium in there. That's why it's balanced electrolytes. It's a natural. And you get all the polyphenol, as we talk about, not a whole lot as you eat all those beets and palm, but it will get a benefit from some of that. I have to keep changing my face here. All right. Now I've been experimenting a lot about hydration, and I recently developed this cocktail. It's a mocktail. There's no alcohol, obviously. I do 40% by volume. 40% is coconut water. 40% is aloe vera juice, raw juice. It should be no calorie, but it's a probiotics. That's why I wanted 20% of pomegranate juice, 100% palm, but 20% in my drink. I like it because I need a little bit sweetener, and it's also the very concentrated antioxidants. So, but if you don't want the sweet flavor or a little bit more sugar, go for the coconut water and aloe vera. All right, so fun. I'm having fun talking to you about all this longevity food. So hopefully you take a few hero foods, try them out. If some of them you should already enjoy them in daily life and just eat all of them. Now you know why. So let's get to a very, very exciting programming item of today's presentation. I'm sure some of you are familiar with our trainer friend, Pete Mueller. Hey, Pete, if you are here, can you show your face? Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you back.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need an introduction, but for the new friends joining us live for the first time, please just briefly talk about who you are, why you're passionate about what you do. And you are so generous sharing your 35 years of insights, practice, knowledge about breathing. We learned a new breathing word, me and all of us from you 2 months ago. 1 month ago, we talked about mobility, human movements, bone health. How do we counteract to prepare for any accidents and falls which happen in aging, people, me included, and super beneficial. So just a little bit background, as some of our members know, we've been kind of thinking, how do we really personalize fitness to first benefit GenoPalate members, because we have you, we're selfish here, and hopefully I know your facility you support broader than just GenoPalate members. So I know you've been working hard on that topic. So, and you have an announcement to make, and I'm so excited. So I'll give it to you, and please introduce yourself and tell us more.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the introduction. I, simply stated, I'm passionate about keeping myself healthy and living a long and robust, active life, both physically and mentally, to connect with my kids and extended family and people. So I've been passionate about human performance and the different components that go into human performance for the well over 35 years. And I started a business in 1990 to deliver strength and conditioning, orthopedic rehab, breathing techniques, nutrition, and found GenoPalate about maybe 8 years ago. And they are absolutely best in practice when it comes to cutting through all of the clutter, that can be out there with how to eat, when to eat, what are the right foods for me. So I'm thrilled to be here talking. And, as I love the information that Sherry dropped to all of us. And the thing that jumped out to me is that what she's speaking of when it comes to diet and timing diet, this is the foundation of health and wellness and health span and living a robust life. There's no need to get too sophisticated with all of the other peptide stacks and this crazy diet and that crazy diet if you're not following the basics. And another piece of the basics that I'm going to talk about is the fact that adding lean muscle to your body is one of the keys to aging in a robust way. I like to say that more muscle simply makes you harder to kill, and it makes you more useful. So it is your metabolic engine, and there is a way, if you haven't been involved in strength training before, there is a way for everybody to start and meet people where they're at, and then expand that expression.
Lovely. So you've been doing this for decades, helped, I believe, thousands of clients, of very one by one, right? Very personalized, tailored, some of them with you for decades. A lot of them having highly stressful, demanding job and lifestyle and so on. So you've seen it all. And tell us about how important it is to personalize your fitness workout. We're talking personalized nutrition. Obviously, it's what GenoPalate does best, and we know why it's important. But at the same time, we see Peloton of the world, right? We go to gym, just kind of figure out ourselves oftentimes, maybe try some trainer a little bit and not. So maybe just give some insights about the difference between more generalized versus more tailored, and what kind of areas, when you do that, how you focus on.
Yeah, so it all starts with hearing your story. I sit, my staff sits with people, and we want to ask questions and hear your story, because your story is going to drive the direction. Adding lean muscle tissue to your body and improving the function of your already existing muscle tissue, so you can improve strength and power production and your ability to express strength and power in a whole variety of ways without adding a whole lot of lean muscle tissue. So it starts with your story, and then we can then personalize the experience of how do we start, what is the progression, what are your goals and objectives, and begin this journey for you. We're in an era where we have access to so many tools, not the least of which is AI. Artificial intelligence is at such a point, and it's going to continue getting better and better and better, I believe. If you know what questions you want to ask an automated or an artificial intelligence, you can probably get a pretty fantastic strength training routine delivered to you. But I got into this business over 35 years ago to connect with human beings and the nuances of being a human being and the movement patterns that need correction and the eye for detail, and looking at how we function as a holistic strength coach, that we are bio, psycho, social, and spiritual beings. And there is an interplay of all four of those things when it comes to human performance. It's not just sets and reps and rest. And it's so much more nuanced for that. So there's an efficiency and effectiveness to having customized, tailored programming.
And the person who trains you cares. That matters, right? Yes. I mean, it's your pal, it's your confidant, it's, you're showing all your weakness to be stronger. That's my experience with you. And your training team, which has been more than wonderful. I have never feel stronger. I know it sounds like I'm doing a commercial for you, but that's true. So I trained with you for, I don't know, time flies, 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's dramatic difference. So, and I really, through doing that, just through myself, I cannot wait to have every single members of GenoPalate also benefit from that. And so thank you for the consideration, all the work going into this new program. I know, again, you have broader clientele, but you actually tailor something for us. Can you tell us how that works? I know you actually going to offer some complimentary introduction, if I'm not mistaken, to GenoPalate members if they take on the offer today.
Yeah, I would suggest that I would be happy to sit down either in person, or I'm assuming many of these people are not in the Metro Milwaukee area. Those that are local, happy to do in person. Those that are not local or would prefer a virtual experience, doing a 30-minute complimentary discovery phone call happy to hear your story, hear what you're doing, hear what your goals and objectives are, or talk about orthopedic history and ways to work around different movement challenges that you might have. And whether you decide to engage with us to participate in remote coaching, where I build a custom program that's delivered with a training app that has performance points, video descriptions, data collection, and real-time observation of how you're doing in that program, and feedback loops built in to correct technique and lateralize or progress or regress movement patterns. Even if you decide to not participate in that, I am happy to give GenoPalate members a complimentary phone call. Pick my brain, ask me anything. You'll leave that 30 minutes, I hope. I hope maybe number one, encouraged that you're capable of a little more, and some knowledge and education that you can apply immediately to your process.
Can I post your website?
Please.
For this page?
Yeah, that's a great link that, we'll kind of walk you through how I approach remote coaching or virtual coaching. Like I said earlier, and COVID really revealed this to me. I've owned and operated an in-person training business since 1990. I know about myself that I got into this business to be with people, to help them. And there's something beautiful about that interconnection. COVID came around, and fitness programs and remote coaching and what we're doing right now, virtual communication went through the roof, and it's a really good thing. But I've come to the conclusion that for me to be engaged and to be excited about doing remote coaching, there needs to be an intimacy to it as well. And I also have a very strong bias that knowing the client, connecting with the client, hearing their story is what's going to drive them to be more accountable and to see the results. So we've built a remote coaching program that even in a virtual delivery format, it's as intimate and connected as it can be. It's not just sets, reps, and go find a program online. It is customized to you, your diet, your nutrition, your sleep, your relationships, shared at whatever level people choose to share. I will sit and we'll ask questions.
Excellent. Thank you, Pete. So I shared we're sharing the screen just so that members can take a look live with us, but feel free to visit and I would highly recommend you at least do the complimentary discovery call with Pete. Pete is super busy guru in the field, but he loves us, so he will give his time. And obviously, feel free to learn from that and walk away, or you may want to develop your own personalized fitness with them. You also, if you're interested, if you want us to follow up with the email from us, and we'd be happy to make that convenience for you. Just show your interest in the chat box here. We can follow up with the link. Sometimes the chat box doesn't show as well. So if you're interested, just say, I'm interested in knowing more in the chat box, and we'll make sure we follow up with you. Are there any final words about this programs we should know, Pete?
My final words to anybody is that I believe the world is a better place when 100% of you shows up to the party. And we can sometimes fall into this old record of an aging process, that there's a paradigm that exists that, and this is a little bit blunt, but, there's a drain that we're circling. And when you're in your 30s, you're out here. And then when you're in your 40s, and then when you're in your 50s and 60s, you're circling the drain and it's getting closer and closer to the end. It does not need to be that way. We're living in an era that we can age and bring that wisdom that you've developed, that is housed in this body, and your executive function and the passion and the connection that you have. Muscle is such a good thing. It is the biggest organ in your body, and you can build it little by little, and you'd be amazed at how much better you feel, how much more energy you have for life.
I have, so I know that's definitely true. Well, it's been pleasure working with you on our series, Pete. And I know you will stay as our friend and answer the questions from our members. Yeah. And so thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
So to finish this off, as we shared, if you have nutrition questions for our RD, we do provide complimentary RD consultation as part of the ENR purchasing or joining GenoPalate space. So take advantage of that. Maybe you can ask, can you do different kinds of fasting, learning from our presentation earlier. So scan the QR code or from your app, you'll be able to schedule your own session with our RD. So I want to thank our speaker, thank all of you to spend this little bit over an hour today. I hope you take away a few hero foods, the framework, the strategy for not only elongate your lifespan, but really live a happy, healthy life for longer. And next time, we're going to actually have a brand new series in this under the same umbrella of graceful aging and increasing your health span conversation. And I can't wait to see you again next time. Thank you for joining. I'm Dr. Sherry Zhang. This is GenoPalate. Be well. This is GenoPalate. Be well.